first one is Benji and Savage as team number 1 in first place. We go to the other side of the board. Let's magnet all the way down to the South Pole. In 31st, it's Analex X-Squeeze.
Yep, 8 below here, and this was actually a decent zone for Analex and X-Squeeze, surprisingly enough, but you know, they are going to get pushed here, so that's a blessing in disguise for them. You know, you always love it when your below surge and team pushes you because, you know, you're on the back foot, but they have to run into you, so you know you're going to get guaranteed tags. Benji Savage meet on 174 above surge, managed to get it, and you did see that he utilized that shield keg, you know, to trade surge, because you're going to get a lot of surge shield back from that shield keg, so you're able to trade a lot of surge, take 50-50s, and that's a free shield and surge spot there coming out there.
Absolutely, it's all about that balance. You might be even asking back home, kind of looks different from the game. Everyone plays themselves. Why aren't people pushing boxes all the time, 24/7, just going for the fights? You don't want to risk getting damage yourself. Savage and Benji go for a quick drop down right there, but don't find that much success. They're going to stop a little bit because they need to make sure they temper their resources for the rest of the game. They also have a long ways to go. I count about 10 different teams in front of them, and this is a very good personification for what it looks like for everyone. The house is burning. Everyone's about to basically catch on fire. They need to move very soon. This is not a comfortable place to be in at all. Benji is in a world of hurt.
The roof is on fire. I mean, and unfortunately, you know, it does go back out. You know, I thought we were going to see some spicy things there. You know, it is sort of, you know, it's a little bit scary sometimes when they have fire all around your base because it makes your edits also a little bit weird. Sometimes you can't edit that wall, so you got to be a little bit careful. But if you take a look at the zone here, bottom around the map, you see zone pulls far yet again. So all of those north teams, you know, the teams that did well last game, Benji and Savage, and they tilted. Not a bad zone for them, but they're going to be one of the last teams to rotate too, and they don't have a car. They don't have any sort of rotates, and they have a team right next to them that's going to be holding them out for surge as well, as Jeff is having a little dive in zone here. Not sure what they're doing here, Shayo.
Might be a class down onto Analex and Squeeze. They might be down on surge and looking for a few angles. They seem kind of desperate. Seems like another, you know, predator hunting its prey situation, but Analex has basically an invisible radar on. He knows exactly what people are thinking. That's just the way he kind of plays the game. The fundamentals always just so strong in knowing what's around him, the awareness. So they find a quick pickup. They're going to keep moving.
Yep, but you know, again, the zone is tough for them. I mentioned this, the mountains, the hills. There's going to be so many teams on this edge, and Analex is the force to launch pad, but everyone's eyes is on them because I think that shield crack came out here. Analex is going to get sprayed up by everyone, and he's eliminated out of the air. X-Squeeze being a very good teammate here, trying to pick him back up, but honestly, I don't think this is a move. I think you need to run away with the Spider-Man because people are going to be jumping in, and that's exactly what's going to happen. These Stinger SMGs coming in, they're jumping, they're going through, and X-Squeeze misses the low launch as well. He's panicking just a little bit. He gets pumped yet again, and his Spider-Man is going to reset. He's able to get past this side now, away from line of sight, but again, this team is being a bit of a nuisance here, Shayo.
He's got a few things to kind of delay a little bit of time, but they got web shooters of their own. Everyone here can beat Peter Parker today. This is going to be absolutely unfortunate for X-Squeeze. A big shot landed down, but it's not going to be enough when you have shotguns and SMGs and everything spraying at you. They leave a launch pad behind for many teams on that south side. Up towards the north, though, Savage and Benji still at a stalemate. They're not all the way in. About 10 more meters away is paradise for them, Boot, but I'm not sure if they're looking at a mirage as they go for this oasis inside the desert. Savage and Benji are just in trouble and barely even in.
Yep. I mean, this is a tough spot to be in. I mean, if you're always on the back foot, you're never going to find opportunities to get surge either, right? You're going to have this tough spot, and I mean, never mind. They're just going to find a player, just giving it to the box, and maybe that's a bit of that luck you mentioned before, Shayo. All of a sudden, there's just a player in Benji's box, a quick little pump to the face, and that's a quick elimination there for Benji.
I'm telling you, they're following some sort of script every time there's a tough situation. Easy random siphon available for Benji and Savage. And I kind of also want to see what some of the other teams' positions are looking like right now as well. I mean, if you look at it, there's just a crescent moon of duos waiting around. Irazumi on the right side, Rayad there too. Let's look at second place and how their journey was going as well. They're on the same side as Benji and Savage. They left slightly later. This is that burned down house, and they get eliminated. So you're talking about what Benji and Savage need to do, Boot. They have so much more space now. The second place team behind them down. You can see the light, the beam shining on them from above. It's just showing them that, hey, you've got the spotlight. You're in first. How far can you go this game?
Yeah, and consistency is the name of the game. I mean, any sort of duo, they can just come back with a very high elimination game, right? We saw Floki do this last week, you know, a 13 elimination game, I believe, put him back into the top 8 position just off of one game. So even if you are below that top 20, top 30 place, just one good game here could put you back up. So you definitely don't want to be throwing the chances where you have very good situations here. And Benji and Savage, they do get saved just a little bit here, Shayo.
Yes, they do. But on their left side, looking at them right now, Joe Vino, Irazumi and leader as well. two different duos that act as interrupters for a majority of teams in the season as they try to move. They try to pick you apart when you're on the move. So Savage and Benji have to be very careful. They don't have the web shooters. They don't have any aerial movement, but Savage's got the slides. He's got the moves. That was nice. 3 boxes and the time it takes to make one, and now Benji takes the lead. Look at the dynamic switching you have in between. A Savage needs to heal. Benji picks up the building portion of the duo.
And I love that. I love seeing these new mechanics coming out of these players, you know. Always a ton of creativity coming out of there. And that slide is just going to give you that extra inch to box up and be safe. Make your hitbox a little bit smaller so people can have a tough time shooting at you. But look at that. Somehow they know that it's Malibu and Mustache, and Malibu and Mustache trades back through. You know, these were their rivals back in the last season as Steamy Stacks, and somehow they sniffed them out. Maybe giving a little bit of revenge back on them, but, you know, they get a little bit back as well as Malibu and Mustache get a big trade. But Texia in the meantime and Castry, double controller duo, 145 below Surge, and I'm not surprised. Maybe they should have gone to those gyro controls, because this is not enough Surge tags.
Yeah, they might want to get a little bit of that aim factor in. We're looking at them right beside another box, but it's going to be a brick build. PKR knows exactly what's going down. They back all the way up. They have so much room. Big for Texia in, and he gets slapped in the face. Castery denied immediately, too. That's 2 shots, 2 elims, and 2 big messages sent to that duo.
I love that. You know, they're perfect timing shots. They knew when the wall was about to be broken. Boom, the pump to the face, and they just get eliminated. You know, that's also a little bit on them as well. You got to be a little bit careful on the timing. You do not want to leave it to the last minute when Surge is just about to pump. You got to be, you know, you got to set yourself up. You cannot do it right before. As Benji here, he sniffs out an opportunity, finds another good pump through, and look who has gotten 50-50 here, Shayo.
Yeah, it's Benji and Savage. They have that 5th zone. It's landed right exactly where they are, and they found another body of heals to be used as well. They keep overreaching for a little bit of damage, for a little bit of position, and keep getting blessed with rewards in terms of heals as well. But the majority of the zone is not in right now. I see a few launch pads and Spider-Man swings going on from the right side, where you can see just the left half of the word Chonker on the mini-map. A lot of people are going to be swinging and flying in. Vino, of course, is in one of the best spots of the map. He's looking to keep pushing that position forward. That's exactly what you want to be doing in this situation. 2 launch pads as well. You talk about potential right now for Vino and Joe. They're both alive, Boop. It looks better than game 1, and I feel like they're about to pop off in this one.
I mean, this is just Covert Canyon loot, right? 2 launch pad, those 6 chili splashes. They have 3 big pots, 6 minis as well. It is a lot. And, you know, they already have 3 eliminations as well. So what happened last game of the Surge issues and obviously Veno going down early on is now going to be a little bit saved. And looks like if Veno's trying to take a peek at high ground here, and not a single team has height. And I don't think it's the right play to go for it yet, because they do have those 2 launch pads. You don't want to be using those materials to go up and waste them, because you're going to be launch padding anyways. It's not going to give you too much. Those those splashes, sorry, are going to be good enough to play mid ground and then launch pad afterwards. And zone pulls bottom right towards Shankar side. So luckily for the majority of this lobby, it pulls back towards that congested side. So a lot of these guys are going to have a pretty easy access through. And knowing Veno and Joe, you know, he was looking at high ground. I expect him to fully land at high ground on the front side of zone. And actually, if you take a look, you'll be seeing this in this first moving here. Everyone on that north side, they're going to be launching first. They're going to be landing. Veno and Joe, they're going to be the last team to land. And that's when they're going to have the opportunity, because they're able to extend that launch pad as far as possible. And then they save themselves so many materials, because everyone's already on the floor, right? Everyone's already landed. So you have 0 risk of ever getting late landed on, because you're the last team to launch pad, Shayo.
Absolutely. It's also a barren desert, a wasteland. There's not going to be too many mountains or anything around the city of Shankar Speedway to land upon. Everything here is going to be player built. So you're absolutely correct. Leaving as late as possible will give you one of the highest points of elevation you can latch upon. Sunny Chappiks have to leave a little bit earlier because they were towards that backside. Base up, go for a few shots. They have another launch pad to leave this position as well, but they're just trying to farm as much damage as possible. Now you hear the gliders in the sky. They're popping left and right. 200 damage above for Seti and Chappiks are looking for a little bit of freedom towards the clouds. They find it. You can see the overview right now. Lots of mid-ground positions. One definitive team on height. Seti's looking for a little bit of a higher elevated base as well. As you look towards the other side on low ground, it's Savage and Benji. They're going to be towards the backside of the zone now. Still finding trouble getting in, but the spicy splash dropped down towards the feet, making things hot. Feisty, fast, and speedy. Good for both teammates, but they're slightly separated too. It's Kuriachi that Benji takes down as he moves across the cars and the dirt on the ground. They're looking pretty good so far, Boot, but they have a long ways to go.
I mean, he had almost 0 builds then. All of a sudden, Kuriachi just into the box, back up to 80 as you get this nice little panning shot. Benji is still stuck in the backside of zone. Yet again, a result of a little bit of late rotations as he has to progress through all of these old builds. It's going to be very careful. Savage is going to try to elevate themselves away from this spot. As we have a high gun battle, you have Pink and Anas trying to go up on top of there. And these guys, you know, they don't have the most aggressive playstyle, but when it comes to those late moving zones and zone transitions, they love to go on top of it. And they do have Spider-Mans. They do have the momentum to go back up, and they have it for free now, going to 8th moving zone pretty damn soon. And I like an easy spot for them.
Absolutely. Pink actually uses the web shooters to go forward, negate the fall damage, and then build all the way back up, reconnecting the high ground, stopping the weakness of these builds. It's absolutely genius. Past that, Trulex Chico looking for a little bit of revenge on any